Well, they say timing is everything. President Obama raising a few eyebrows on Saturday when he went out to play golf after announcing that he will seek congressional approval for an attack on Syria should the media have taken him to task for hitting the links during an international crisis. Let's bring in our Fox News Watch panel. Jim Pinkerton, contributing editor and writer for the American conservative magazine, Alan Colmes, host of the Alan Colmes Show and the author of Thank the Liberals for Saving America. Indeed. Both are Fox News contributors.
It makes you laugh, Greg, right?
Hey, you know, Alan, so let me start with you.
Okay.
Woodrow Wilson apparently played something like 1,200 rounds of golf. I think Eisenhower, 800 rounds of golf. So, you know, this president, but the optics on this thing don't look so good, do they?
No, they don't. I agree with you. The optics don't look good. And, of course, presidents have done it of both parties. President Bush famously was talking about a suicide bombing in Israel. Then he said, now watch this drive. And then he vowed to stop playing golf, although he was photographed after that still playing golf and went mountain biking. So, but I also think presidents do have a right to get some relaxation and have a balanced life.
They do,
the
indeed.
optics are bad.
Yeah, they do indeed. But the optics on this thing just don't seem all that great. You know, Jim, national foreign policy crisis, you know, national security interests at stake, and the president within 30 minutes is out on the golf course. One could argue, shouldn't he be talking to foreign leaders or his military leaders or trying to lobby members of Congress?
Yeah, one could argue that, and just for perspective here, CBS's Mark Knoller, who is sort of an encyclopedia of these kind of statistics, said that counted up President Bush playing golf 24 times and President Obama playing golf 141 times. And so there is a change here. I mean, look, what's so striking is the president builds up the Syria intervention for months, changes his mind at the last minute, goes to play golf. And then the next day, the New York Times says President puts Congress in box, making it sound like the President Obama is some kind of Machiavelli, you know, outsmarting the Congress. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Kerry is out there making the case yesterday on all the Sunday shows. It looks like he's in charge now.
You know, I do want to show some video. I was actually anchoring at the time when Secretary Kerry made his speech on Friday. Incredibly dramatic and powerful, Alan, very energetic. I think we have some video of that. And then all of a sudden, after he arguably gets sandbagged by the president, yesterday he looked like a sick oyster at low tide, the stuffing knocked out of him. Boy, what did you think?
I was wondering why, when John Kerry was addressing the nation, he was doing it and not the president. Obviously, Secretary of State has standing to make those kind of comments. He talked for a very long time, and it seemed to me that this would have been the place for the commander-in-chief.
Right. Are you disappointed in
Well, I'm
Obama?
disappointed. I'm disappointed that we're drawing a red line and now talking about war. I think it's ridiculous to talk about going into a country where we have no...
Yeah.
I mean, look, I understand the humanitarian argument.
You're pointing out that Obama didn't make the speech, it was Kerry.
Correct.
Yeah. Are you disappointed by that? Do you think this is a president who's really dodging his responsibilities?
Well, I'm more disappointed by having all this war talk. You can't say there's going to be a red line and then not do anything and then say, well, I'll wait till Congress gets back and let them decide. It doesn't look good, and unless we're threatened, we shouldn't be at war.
Yeah, you know, some can argue, I suppose, Jim, that if the president truly, sincerely believes that Congress should be involved, then why didn't he do that at the outset? Instead, it seems like this was almost an afterthought, born of indecision or vacillation or fecklessness. Is that fair criticism?
I think it is, and you know who agrees with you, Greg, and that is Hillary Clinton. Behind the scenes in all these stories, you're seeing references and quotes from Hillary Clinton officials and former State Department officials. Ben Smith touted one on BuzzFeed last night, saying, oh, Hillary Clinton is very disappointed by what's happened. She advised the president to do this 2 years ago. So I think you're seeing a pretty substantial 2016 undertone here of Secretary and future presidential candidate Clinton positioning herself relative to the Obama administration, which I agree with Alan is not looking very good right now.
Alan, a quick question for you. If the House votes this down, and many suspect it will, then what does the president do? Does he act notwithstanding? And if he doesn't, does that make him look weak?
I think the House has to agree with him for him to look like he's empowered. And if he acts without the consent of Congress, he's in violation of both the War Powers Resolution and one would think the Constitution.
Seriously? Really?
Yeah.
Many presidents have done precisely that without authorization from Congress. Clinton, H.W. Bush.
Yep. They're all wrong.
And they were all wrong.
Yep.
Okay, Alan Colmes, Jim Pinkerton, good to see you. Thanks.